This is a lesson to sell more cars and build more value in the deal. The desk is going to give you a worksheet. The worksheet is going to be loaded up with 3 ways to buy this car. You may have a customer that you've been dealing with for years, and he's going to call you up and say, Mike, get this car ready for me. So, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm going to go get the figures. I'll be right back. Got the appraisal. I'll bring the figures over. And there's this worksheet. You put the worksheet right in front of the customer. Say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, there's 3 ways you can buy this car. There's a lot of information on this piece of paper. I'm going to explain it to you, and if you have any questions for me. First of all, if you want to pay cash, this would be the cash payment. I don't want to pay cash, I want to finance. Great, because we do have a finance option here. This is the finance options, variable payments in terms, and there is a lease option here. So, any questions? Oh, by the way, all these prices include an extension of the Washington Auto Mall difference. I explained to you earlier. They may say, what's that Washington Auto Mall difference? And explain it to them again. Hopefully you've explained it to them when you opened up the deal jacket. Because I think if you do it in the manner that I explained to you, everything else is going to fall into place. Your customer is going to react to those numbers. There's going to be a number of things they're going to say. One of the first things they might say to you is, what would the price be without that Washington Auto Mall difference? The payment would be approximately $30 less. Man, that's a lot of money. On the surface, it may be a lot of money, but that's only $1 a day. Oh, okay. When you say it with that much confidence, guess what's going to happen? When the customer says $15.95, that's a lot. Not for what it does. And besides, it would be $19.95 if you didn't have the first 6 months. Plus, you get the rims. And that's the most valuable part of that program, is the rims rather than the tires. I'm just talking about the Washington Auto Mall difference now. I'm not even talking about that price is too high, the payment's too high, the interest rate's too high, I don't want to finance, I don't want to lease. Let's get into that now. The point I'm trying to make here is, I don't just want to say, oh, the $15.95, take that off. Deshaun, tell me to take the $15.95 off.
You take the Washington Auto Mall difference off.
Why?
I just don't want to pay for it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You would rather pay for a tire or wheel damage?
Not necessarily, no, but I like my odds.
You like your odds. All right, so you're a risk taker.
I guess you could say that.
All right, no problem. We can remove that. That's going to decrease the payment about $30 a month. Is that going to be okay for you?
Yeah, that's better.
All right, so we got a deal.
Yeah.
Without the Washington Auto Mall.
Correct.
Done. I'll be right back. What's wrong with that? What's the first question I ask the customer? Why? Why would you want to take that off? He's going to tell me. And they're going to say, okay, that's going to be $30 less than the monthly payment. You okay with that? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Oh, no, I was looking for a lot more. Now I know why. The payments are too high. Why would I take the Washington Auto Mall difference if he wants to do $100 more in the payment? And if I say to him it's only going to change the payment $30, and he says to me $30, that's okay. Am I right or wrong? It makes sense? All right, so training. It's up to sales management. If I man, you need to get involved in that training. I want to spend time in the car, get the car sold, because quite frankly, your job is to hold it together. Your job is to extend the Washington Auto Mall. We're just giving that extra boost. All right, so this isn't about the Washington Auto Mall. This is about when the customer, you put those numbers in front of them. There's a lot of information there. Any questions about what I just shared with you? No, I don't have any questions. Great, which option works best for you? Look, man, I don't want to lease. You don't have to lease it. So here's the rule. We talked about this a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. We talked about when we pencil the deal this way, minimum $500 cash down, maximum 60-month payment out. That's what we talked about, okay? I'd like to go back to that rule. I think you'd like to go back to that rule. Minimum $500 down, maximum 60 months out. And you throw that out at the customer. The lease, it's going to vary depending on the leases you have. So I got a customer sitting there saying to me, that I don't want a lease. No problem, there's finance options there. I don't have that down payment, but those payments are really too high. So let me ask you a question, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. What you're telling me is you don't have the down payment of minimum $500 and you feel the payments are too high. This gives me, as a sales consultant, an opportunity to move the deal along and to sit in my seat. Because I only got the deal at 60 months, and I haven't checked the customer's credit at this point. I don't know what it looks like. I say to myself, maybe I can get 66 months or 72 months, so this is what I'm going to say to the customer. The only way that we can lower that payment, there's actually 1 or 2 ways to lower that payment, longer term or more money down. So let me ask you a question. The payment's $630. Do you have at least the first payment, if I could extend it out? I never ask them how much they want to pay. Never. And I never will. Because the second pencil, they'll tell me. Or they may tell me during that first pencil, but I will never ask them how much they want to pay. You know why? They will lie to me. So I'm just going to go with it. Great, we can lower that payment by extending the term. And this is what the customer's going to say to me. how far can you extend the term? And I'm going to say to myself, oh, this is a problem.
It's a good problem to have.
I know it's a good problem to have, but when the customer's, whoa, how long are you going to extend the term? I'm like, we got a problem. All right, so $500 down, the customer says to me, I don't have any money down. Which payment do you like? I really don't like any of them. Well, what's the closest payment to the one you like? That one. You know what they're going to pick? They're going to pick this one. One with $5,000 down, right? And 60 months. All right, so you want to be somewhere in that area, $630. No, I want to be below 600. How much money do you have to put down? Do you have the 3,000 to put down? No, I don't. How close to the 3,000 can you come? I only got 2,000 to put down. So what you tell them, you have $2,000 to put down, and you want to be less than $600 a month. You know that's not going to happen, right? What do you mean? If it's not going to happen, I ain't buying the car. Do you want the car? So here's the key to success. The one thing I didn't mention. Do I have to take the wash and auto mall? Do you want the car? Yeah, I want the car. All right, then it's going to be $30 more than the payment would normally be without the wash and auto mall. I'd rather pay $30 less. So you do want the car? Yeah, I want the car. Great, let's get F&I involved and we'll get this thing rolling. The payments are too high. Do you mind if I ask you a question? No, go right ahead. Do you want the car? Other than the payments being too high, is there anything else preventing you from moving forward? Other than the wash and auto mall difference, is there anything else preventing you from moving forward? Other than this, other than that, is there anything else preventing you? That's the one thing I left out. I don't want to isolate the objection. And this doesn't come from one lesson. This doesn't come from one afternoon with Gerry Gould, or one afternoon sitting with your peers. This comes from consistent training, pushing the envelope, working out, building muscle, mental muscle. So when the customer says the payment's too high, you look right at them and go, yeah, you know what? That's a lot of car. Let me ask you a question. Is it the payment that you're concerned with? Is the price? We can lower that payment by more money down or extending the term. Which would you prefer? With your good credit, we can probably extend the term out to 84 months. I hate to say that, but it all depends on where you are on the sale. The price is too high. When you say the price is too high, where do you get that information? I understand your concerns over price is too high. Other than price being too high, is there anything else preventing you from moving forward? No. I'm not going to say, so what do you want the price to be? Should I lower the price? So I'm going to say, when you say the price is too high, I don't get it. What do you mean the price is too high? Because we discounted $500. Is the price too high, or are you referring to the payment being too high? I'm referring to the amount you're giving me for my trade. That's what I'm referring to. That trade allowance, I can get a lot more at another dealer. When you say you can get a lot more at another dealer, should I ask what's the other dealer? I'm asking, should I ask who the other dealer is? I think what matters at that point is the difference the customer has to come up with. Would you all agree? Because the trade allowance has no bearing, and I like, Kenny, I like what you said about it doesn't matter, the out-the-door price it's always going to be the same out-the-door price because the tax and everything is the same.
If you're in the same state, yeah.
But the dealer fees could be different too, but I like where you're going with that. No, I like where you're going with that. You are able to have a dialogue with the customer that makes sense. Don't worry about the out-the-door price. It's always going to be the same. It's the price of the car that matters, and you focus on the price of the car.
What tends to happen is people get all confused because many dealers will mislead them and say, yeah, that's the out-the-door price, the selling price. So I don't want to talk about out-the-door. I want to just talk about the selling price.
Do you tell people? Many dealers will mislead you by talking about the out-the-door price. The out-the-door price has nothing to do with it. Out-the-door price is always going to be the same. My point here is that's transparent. If you've built some type of rapport with a customer, I think what you're setting a stage for is better success. Let's face it. If you worked all this way and the customer looked at them, why get the out-the-door price down $1,000 for this much money? And you look at the customer and say, look, Bob, you're being misled. I hate to say this to you, right? But the out-the-door price is meaningless. Everybody pays the same out-the-door price because the out-the-door price includes taxes and dealer fees and everything else. What you should be concerned with is the price you're paying for the car. Let's not confuse this issue. This is the price of the car, period, end of story. I've had customers actually say, I'm not doing 0%. And the reason they're not doing 0% is because they think there's some catch. They think they're going to have to overpay or something like that. So I tell F&I managers, print out a retail sales installment contract and stick in front of the customer's nose. And show them, this is all you pay, 0 interest. This many payments adds up to this much. Seeing is believing. So when you take and you translate it to things that customers can understand, we can have differences, but the fact of the matter is there's certain things make sense, and it makes sense to me. And he might not even realize he's doing it. When you say to somebody, listen, man, it doesn't matter, all right? What matters is the amount you're paying for the vehicle. What matters, the trade allowance matters to you, I get it. But what matters more is how much money you got to come up with. Do you know how much money you had to come up with in the other deal? No, they made it. And when you say dealers will confuse you, I'm trying to make this as vanilla as possible. It's like leasing. Like it's like a pizza pie. And we write it all down, showing them that, and people would get it. So don't get lost in the translation. When someone says the price is too high, where'd you get that information? On what basis are you determining the price is too high? I saw it on the internet. We're very transparent on our internet. How about this one? I'm looking for the best deal. How many times has the customer said that to you? I'm looking for the best deal. Have you ever asked on what basis are you going to determine you got the best deal? Do you know what the best deal is? How are you going to know if you got the best deal? On what basis are you determining you're getting a good deal? I had a very good sales consultant say that to me several years ago, and I never thought of that. You look at the customer, so you're looking for the best deal, or what factors are you going to use to determine it's the best deal or a good deal? I'm looking for a good deal. What factors or basis are you going to determine it's a good deal? Tell me. Look, this is hard when you get to this point. There's no question about it. If it were easy, we'd all be doing it. In this workbook, you will find every word track I just shared with you. Objections to everything that I talked about, from the price is too high, the payments are too high, the rate's too high, I don't have much time, down payment. We got to isolate the concern first. Other than that, is there anything else preventing you from moving forward? Be cool, stay in your seat. We need to determine what rationale the customer is using to come to these conclusions. What rationale is behind the customer feeling a certain way? The customer wanting more for their trade. The customer wanting more of a discount. The customer wanting a lower payment. The customer wanting a lower interest rate. The customer is not willing to proceed. I could get into a whole thing about the new ABCs of selling: attunement, buoyancy, and clarity. But I'm not going to get into that. And the old school of always be closing is outdated and too pushy. What we got to do is we got to find the customer's perspective, determine why they're feeling that way, and then overcome it. And the best way to do that is follow this whole process we talked about. Put yourself in a position for success so that you're able to hang in there and you have all the confidence in the world to go toe-to-toe with this customer. And your goal, your job, should you choose to accept it, is to help the customer make a decision. That's what you're there to do. A decision that benefits both you and them. That's what your job is. Just go do it. So with that said, there's 4 stages to addressing customers' concerns. To break the ice, I agree. Prices are high on cars today. I agree. Interest rates are high. I don't set the interest rates. That's a good point. I get it. I understand. That's what we call the acknowledgement statement. That's breaking it down. I call it taking the customer to trip and fall school. When they object to something, go right down their throat. And instead, here you are saying, oh, I get it. These options aren't for everybody. I get it. The prices are too high. I hear it from a lot of customers. Look, I'm just like you. I feel the same way. Interest rates are high. But that's what we got to deal with today. All right? And I don't set the interest rates. I asked this question the other day. How many times did the Fed raise the rates in the last 2 years? I gave everybody the answer. 13 times. They haven't lowered them since. 13 times in the last 2 years. It might be a little bit more.
What I want to say is, I handle that question differently, and it's been working.
Go ahead.
I say, now, young people won't get this, but to most people our age, if you have perspective, over a 50-year average, 6.5, pretty average. It wasn't average with 0, 1, or 2, and people that were living on fixed income couldn't make a return. So that was the anomaly, not 6.5%.
No, we were like amazed those rates.
You need to redirect their perspective.
It's all about changing customers' perspective. Your mindset has to change. When I walked around the room this afternoon and I talked about what percentage of customers do you feel price is the most important factor, and there were 15, 10%, 20%. Those were comfortable in my ears. When I heard 80%, 50%, I'm like, oh, come on, man. If you have that mindset, then you're afraid to give numbers. Price has something to do with it, and that's what I'm getting into next. I know price has a lot to do with your decision, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. You mind if I ask you a question? Maybe another way of looking at it. You mind if I share something with you? You say the payments are too high. How high are they? For those who haven't seen this close yet, get ready, because this is probably the strongest close you're going to have. You're going to leave here with something that's going to be so valuable and help you close deals. This is it. It's called the calculator close. So you ready? Mike, your payment, you want to be at $600 a month. You're looking at a $630 payment. It's $30 away from the car you want versus the payment you want, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Mike, if you're like most people, you probably budget monthly, spend daily.
Yeah, I don't have another $30.
I get it. So I know you don't have the other $30, but you do budget monthly. What I mean by that is you don't write everything down. You have enough money in the bank to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So you have $600 to pay the car payment, and you're comfortable with that, right?
Yeah.
You have other money to pay your insurance, your mortgage, whatever you pay.
Yeah.
And then you have what they call daily spending. You spend money every day, right?
Yeah.
How much money do you spend in the average day?
10, 15 bucks.
Okay, that's about normal. I spend about the same. So I would imagine where you spend $10 or $15 a day isn't going to change your lifestyle in any way, shape, or manner, right?
No.
Do you mind if I share something with you?
Sure.
Is that your cell phone?
Yep.
You have a calculator on it?
Yep.
Do you mind going to the calculator on your cell phone, please?
Okay.
You want to pop $600 in there?
Yep.
Divide that by 30. That's the average days in a month.
Fine.
So you put $20 a day away to pay for your car, but it's in the bank. That's your budget.
Yeah.
But you still go out and spend $5 to $10 a day, right? So take $30 and divide that by 30. That's only $1. That means for $21 you can have the car you want. And remember, $1 a day ain't gonna change your lifestyle in any way, shape, or manner. Now, is it? But certainly driving the wrong car, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it make sense to, let's get that car ready, let's go. So that's what I call the calculator close. Getting a customer to that point is not easy. Following the process makes it easier.